My girlfriend and my dad are attracted to each other. I'm 30 years old, my girlfriend is 28. We've known each other since we were in middle school, but have only been dating for the past 7 years or so. She's pregnant with our first baby right now. Not planned for this exact moment, but I know there's nobody else I'd want to have a family with. I'm really happy to become a dad and to do it with her. She confessed to me that she's had a crush on my dad for years. She thinks it's funny and has been like, hey, you look a lot like your dad, so it just means I'll still think you're hot when you're 60. The thing is, I wouldn't have felt weird about her making what felt like a little joke about being attracted to my dad. I probably would have laughed, maybe even embarrassed her by telling my dad about it and likely forgotten about it. We can all take a joke. What she said felt like it went way beyond a joke though. She was very descriptive, and that's when it just got weird to me. She said she bets my dad got so much intercourse when he was younger, and she'd have got in line to ride his PP back then. She also imagines what he's like in bed, and she imagines the intimate life that he and my stepmom have, and it must be hot. WTF? I don't want to think of my dad in that way at all, and I definitely don't want to think of my girlfriend thinking of him that way. Call me crazy, but this doesn't sound like an off-the-cuff joke. It sounds like she spent actual time thinking about this. To make it even worse, I know my dad thinks she's attractive. She and I broke up briefly a few years ago, and my dad essentially told me I was an idiot and that I'd never find another woman who was as cool as her again, into the same things I was into, and as hot as her. He specifically said, and I'll never forget it, that if he slept next to her every night his PP would be raw, and I was just being pathetic and letting her get away. I mean, he was right. I was never going to find somebody like her again, at least not somebody like her who was interested in me, so I took his advice and we got back together. I love my dad, but he's a womanizer. Or was. He's gotten better now, but he cheated on my mom like crazy when I was younger. They're no longer together. As far as I'm aware, he's faithful to my stepmom, but he still makes comments about women's looks all the time and flirts with women. I've always been close with him, but I promised myself and my mom that I would never act the way he does towards women. So here I am just sitting in the middle. It was less disturbing to hear my dad say what he did, because that kind of thing is expected from him unfortunately. She's backtracking now and saying it's just the pregnancy hormones making her horny and say crazy things. I've never heard of pregnancy suddenly make you say crazy off the wall like that. Can everyone agree that her comments are not normal comments or thoughts one should be having about their father-in-law? I told my brother, who is married to a woman, and he agrees that is vomit-inducing, but she thinks I'm being a jealous little boy who can't take a joke.